This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael, I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen The Green Knight, a relatively new medieval fantasy drama from David Lowery. An adaptation of a poem from the 14th century, the story follows Gawain, the nephew of King Arthur, and an aspiring knight who doesn't really seem to do all that much to prove himself. At a Christmas feast, however, he finds himself meeting the challenge of the Green Knight, who states that anybody who strikes a blow upon him with his axe may keep it, but must meet him a year later to be dealt the same blow. Gawain decapitates the Green Knight, who picks up his own head and rides off to his green chapel. 1 year later, and with reluctance, Gawain departs to face the Green Knight and his fate. The journey he makes is one which is loaded in atmosphere and metaphor, as Gawain makes his journey to what could be his final resting place. There are effectively two layers to the film's events: the surface level travel towards the Green Chapel, rife with perils, omens, and obstacles testing Gawain's sense of duty and his desire to truly become a knight, and the underlying fears of his slow but inevitable end, not only in a literal sense of his death, but what might come next for him should he survive, whether through miracle, magic, or cowardice. There's a great amount of imagery and mysticism within the film that permeates the land outside of Gawain's hometown, though I will remark that it leans more towards the atmospheric sense of visual creativity than anything more overtly fantastical. The Green Knight balances the not-so-lively reality around Gawain with a slower, somewhat somber pacing of the supernatural and fantastic beings met along the road, almost seeming to put them in a different, more patient state of existence. It could also just be another part of the ongoing theme, in that where Gawain can't help but think about his own death coming up, these others have either come to terms with their mortality or have no concept of it. The film's atmosphere is also presented in a literal sense in its cinematography and art design. Opening in medieval Camelot, there's a grayness cast over what may usually be depicted with more color and saturation, but those sorts of images don't come into play until after Gawain leaves, after which things become not only saturated but soaked in color, to the point that some shots are absolutely caked in single-color palettes. It's a bit of a gradual shift as well, further cementing the difference between where Gawain is from and where he's going. Cinematography is a bit more practical in its look at the world around him, though again the camera does begin to take up more dreamlike movements as he presses forward. Overall, though, there's a strange sense of emptiness and solitude within this world, simultaneously inviting to explore and devoid of any life to find. I think that in the end, The Green Knight is more focused on its atmosphere and the metaphor that it brings to Gawain, rather than the overarching story of his challenge and the obstacles in his path. There's a healthy amount of hesitation within Gawain that only grows and grows as he gets farther from home and his death draws nearer. But as he comes closer to the end of his journey, he is further made to consider if there is more to this. Not only in terms of personal gain if he's knighted for this quest, but also if anything he has ever done truly makes him worthy of such a title. He's essentially made out to be a hero who holds little motivation to prove himself as one, or at least is made to come to terms with what it means to become one, and his journey is less about fulfilling his end of a challenge and more about meeting his destiny head-on no matter the costs. No pun intended. Okay, pun intended. The Green Knight, David Lowery, 2021. 4.5 stars. I'd recommend giving it a shot. It's a bit weird at times, but you get used to it. Anyways, that's it for me. If you liked this review, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews in the future. Speaking of which, it's been just over 6 months since I got stuck here. I wonder what I'd get if I make it a whole year.